Live from WFSB, Connecticut's #1 local news, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 7.
It is 7 o'clock right now, and we begin with the very latest on the coronavirus here in Connecticut. Thanks for waking up with Eyewitness News, which is coming to you live right now on Roku, Apple TV, and the Amazon Fire Stick. This morning, state leaders believe kids will be able to return to the classroom this fall, but school is going to look very different with all of the safety guidelines that are going to be put in place. There are still a lot of concerns from parents and teachers, but the governor is adamant that this safety plan was a collaborative process. In fact, he says more than 23,000 people helped create it. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Roger Suzanin has more details.
This graphic, which outlines all of the changes. There will be social distancing in classrooms, and many students will be separated by grade and urged not to interact with students outside of their group. Dr. Miguel Cardona, the Commissioner of Education, explains that the term is known as cohorting. Some school leaders will have to get creative to manufacture enough space, which could impact sports and theater. Students will be asked to wash their hands when entering a room, and perhaps most controversially, all students and faculty members will be required to wear a mask. Dr. Cardona says the mask mandate is important because if face coverings are optional, he fears many children won't wear them, which would create an unsafe environment. Parents we spoke with have reservations and worry the finer details of the plan, especially requiring young kids to wear masks, will be very difficult to carry out. But Dr. Cardona says the state will remain flexible to make sure they can respond to any issues. He says returning to the classroom must be a top priority.
It's going to be hard. I mean, even at work, wearing a mask is very challenging, and having children all day at school, maybe they can take consideration shortening the hours.
What we want districts to do based on how the success of Connecticut over the last 2 months in particular is plan for a full reopening. We do want students to know that we are planning for a fall reopening, and we know that that's how they learn best.
Roger Suzanin, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Let's take a quick look at where things stand this morning with the coronavirus in our state. Since this time yesterday, we learned that there were 81 new confirmed cases reported. We also learned that 11 people died. Hospitalizations were down by 2, and more than 6,500 COVID-19 tests were performed in the past day. Officials say airlines are concerned with the new travel advisory in our state that requires people to quarantine for 14 days if they come from coronavirus hotspots. According to the Connecticut Airport Authority, traffic dropped by 98% when the pandemic started. Governor Lamont's office is working with airlines, hotels, and others in the tourism industry to inform travelers. Remember, for more information on the coronavirus, be sure to download our free Channel 3 streaming app.
All right, and weather-wise, it's been a dry June across Connecticut. In fact, to the point where we've got these building rainfall deficits driving us into a bit of a drought situation. You can see here for the Hartford area as measured at Windsor Locks Bradley International, a deficit of over 3 inches. A 2.5-inch deficit comes in from Bridgeport. So as we check out the drought monitor, you can see a good part of the state is in that shade of yellow, abnormally dry. But the moderate drought does now include parts of northern Hartford County as well as northern Litchfield County. So we have temperatures as of the 7 o'clock hour in the 60s and to near 70 degrees, still some lingering 50s in some spots, so a nice comfortable start to the day. Our iCam view from Torrington showing some scattered cloud cover in some spots. Our view from Hartford also showing that we have mainly clear skies. As we check out the scene from New Haven, you can also see that we've got a nice start to the day. Calm winds in many locations, in our view from New London also showing a lot of sunshine early this morning. I'd like to really step in front of the camera and show you more here what's going on. So as we check out Middletown again, you can see overlooking the Connecticut River and Route 9, a nice start to the day. So throughout the region, not much happening here in southern New England. There are storms developing to our south and southeast, but those will move away from Connecticut. So we're going to see primarily dry weather today. There's just the slightest chance for an isolated shower to develop this afternoon. It's a situation where many communities will remain dry. But looking westward, we've got a warm front that heads in our direction tomorrow. That's going to bring us a shower chance by late morning with as well, an increase in humidity. Then behind that, tomorrow afternoon, there's a threat for some storms that could be strong to severe. So the Storm Prediction Center has already outlined a good part of southern New England and the risk area for some severe weather. The yellow is one notch above the green. So any storms that do develop tomorrow could produce some heavy rain, some frequent lightning, and as well, potentially some gusty, even damaging winds. So here's how it all times out on Futurecast. Tomorrow's weather today, 7 o'clock this morning, mostly sunny. As we head through the afternoon, you can see those little specks of green. So again, perhaps an isolated passing shower, but many towns stay dry. And then as we start our Saturday, it'll be dry in the morning as the sun is rising. But notice here comes that round of showers by late morning. And then that's the initial round. Here comes the next one behind it, around 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. Storms moving through the state. Yellows, oranges, reds, even some purples, indicating again that heavy rain potential with perhaps some gusty, damaging winds. So highs this afternoon with primarily dry weather, 80 to 85 inland, upper 70s to low 80s along the Connecticut shoreline. For tomorrow, it's going to be noticeably muggier, highs between 80 and 85, and then we'll see a mix of sun and clouds on Sunday, perhaps an isolated shower or storm, highs in the mid 80s. But late in the day, the humidity starts to decrease a bit. So Monday will be, right now, as we see it, dry, comfortably warm mid 80s. Then we'll trend cooler with highs actually a little bit below average for this time of year, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with a chance for some scattered showers through the middle of next week. So we have some opportunities to pick up on some rain again with those building rainfall deficits, and for shoreline highs this weekend, 80 on Saturday, 85 on Sunday.
Mark, it's now 7:06. Today in Windsor Locks, in-person counseling will be available by appointment following the death of a high school student during a shooting. Police say a 16-year-old was shot and killed at Pesci Park after a dispute involving several people Wednesday night. The victim's family asked us to keep his identity private, but we know that he would have been a senior. A vigil was held last night to remember the teen's life, and the crowd that gathered together called on young people to stop perpetuating violence.
Our youth, I'm speaking to you. You guys are the future. Stop killing each other. No one does anything that bad for you to judge if they should live or not.
Now, police in Windsor Locks say that they have suspects in mind, but they're not naming anyone yet. Also today, we'll find out if Hartford State's attorney, who was suspended, that is, after failing to make a ruling on 4 deadly shootings involving police, will be reappointed. Gail Hardy was suspended without pay last week for 4 days. According to a report, she has not ruled on 2 cases that happened more than a decade ago. Hardy has served in the position for 13 years, and her current term is supposed to end this week. The Criminal Justice Commission is hosting a meeting on this afternoon at 1. Thank you so much for tuning in to Eyewitness News on this Friday. Remember, you can get news and weather updates anytime on the Channel 3 app. Have a great day, everyone.